I was
like.
going to say, Corki Nico is still pretty strong.
Yeah.
And that is what they're going to lock in, at least the Nico portion of it. You were talking about Lulu. Could be something that could work alongside an on-hit Varus as well. A lot of on-hitting if you get picks into the mix. That was an unintentional rhyme. I apologize. It's quite early.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. Well, Viper, what are we going to be locking in? Is it going to be your lane partner's champion? And it looks like that will be the case. And no real threat of being silenced at this angle as well. Every time the Alistar is locked in, I always freak out about the Chain Man, but it's not going to happen this time. As now on, what are we going to be rounding out this
We're looking for Bin's pick. So Jax would be the classic, and it's always a treat to see him on his Jax. Best Jax, you know, in the world, I think, for my money. When he's at his best, he is incredible. Though Keen is kind of the best at everything, so
I was gonna say,
that's the problem.
If you don't include Keen, then it's fine. It's like a lot of the Faker stats. You just have to take Faker out of it. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense. This would be fun though, as Diablo is a big fan of the Kai'Sa, and yeah, you just may as well go all in. And this is what BNK FEARX really built themselves around last year.
They can't dive you if you're diving them.
Exactly. And they would just keep it simple. That's what the drafts were. That was into a squad that looks like this is very plug and play. And we've seen that already with the amount of success that they've had. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1 of our first best of 5 of the first stand here for 2026. BNK FEARX didn't get the first pick opportunity, but they are on the blue side this time around as they picked up right of first selection. Kind of fun that we get this for the first time internationally. And let's just see how this one is going to begin. I imagine we're looking pretty happy on the BNK side as far as the bottom side of the map is concerned. Alistar doesn't really do anything. And Bin certainly has not necessarily been known as being a weak point.
No, I mean, he has been incredible. It's going to be a trade of ghosts here. Vikla needs to back up and get out of range of any more damage that would be coming in there. Nothing too out of the ordinary as far as the rune setups are going to be. It is going to be Viper playing Poke Varus, so that is going to be up and available as Knight is getting some really good trades here onto Vikla early on, and that's already both potions gone for Vikla, and he's going to have to walk the long way around. It is a bit awkward for him now because the wave is pushing away from him.
Yeah, and he missed out on experience, I believe, on that last minion. That's kind of crazy.
He's just getting full zoned, and Knight is...
And there is vision here as well, so Knight might just be able to solo kill him. The Raptor's getting involved, and there is first blood for Knight. Man, I wanted to start talking about whether Vikla could get a solo kill, because he managed to take down Chovy, managed to take down Faker, and Knight says, no, not me, mate. That's not happening today.
Not yet, that is for sure. That is a horrible start for Vikla, and I have to think that was a misclick on the Raptors. There's no reason for him to hit the Raptors there. He aggroed the Raptors, takes extra damage from them, and then flashed over the wall, actually died to the Raptors. Knight didn't even have to flash. At least, as Vikla, you're saying, okay, no flash rise, maybe you can get a gank or something, but that is a horrendous start. He's zoned off of experience, and Knight just plays this really, really well. He just knows his limits. He's playing in the face of Vikla. Vikla can never allow him to get that empowered hit off. He didn't want that Rune Prison to come down. And then, yeah, just a misclick. He was trying to click into the back of the pit to flash over the wall. And unfortunately, because he autos it, he aggroes the Raptors, has to flash earlier than he would have wanted. I think he would have wanted to go all the way into the corner and flash towards his tower so that Knight can't flash and follow. And it does mean he goes down at the end of the day. So an absolutely horrific start there for Vikla.
Well, let's see whether Raptor can fix it, as already he's going for something. Meanwhile, on this bottom side of the map, we've got a little bit of action, but not too much more than that. Viper is completely out of mana. Diablo and Kellen being able to shove this one up. And oftentimes, the Kai'Sa lanes can struggle a little bit early, not when there's a Nico into an Alistar. So that one's doing all right.
But, I mean, on trades Flash with Flash for Diablo, so that is actually really, really good. They get Flash for Flash heal off on the other side. Viper is playing TP, so yes, obviously you do have the advantage as far as the early lane here against the Alistar, but that is On's most played. He is super comfortable. And BLG,
oh dear,
they are looking good, and Clear is not going to be happy about this, TB.
Yeah, the turtle port coming on in, and he had to watch that one very, very slowly. Clear does get his shield and flashes away, and will be able to keep himself alive, but he is once again going back home.
Yeah, I mean, great, you got away, but you lost your flash, your TP, the wave is frozen on you. He's got a spam ping assist. You can see the assist pings coming through. if Shun stays, Clear is screwed, and he stayed. So he's flipping it. This is the top lane nightmare. When the wave is frozen on you, you cannot base in that spot. He was assist pinging Raptor, but then he didn't wait for Raptor to come up, so it's not like Raptor could do anything. He said, you know what, if he's here, I die. And he went for it. Guess what? He was there, so he died. Now the wave is still frozen on you. Bin gets the kill, and this game is already kind of out of control here. I mean, yeah, you have the Nico on the bot side, so your lane is doing fine, but I would even say they're losing the 2v2 because Diablo has actually lost his flash. Viper got a free reset.
Fight. There's a pulverize onto Raptor. Headbutted back there as well, but he still has to contend with Knight. Gets the Vault Breaker over the wall. So the jungler does make his way out of there, but these 2 kills and the fact that this top lane is now basically over is going to make things a little difficult here for BNK. All right, let's have a look. There is a snare onto On, but he is just testing the waters as Kellen has made his way up.
And On is going to actually look.
Flash out. Kellen knows that he's in trouble. Vault Breaker comes through. There's the seismic shot. For the world, as there is a headbutt from On to get him into the back of that Raptor pit. That is exactly where Vikla wanted to be before, and Raptor is going to die in pretty much the same spot.
Yep, dies where his namesake comes from, you know, dies in his home at least.
Exactly.
At home, surrounded by those he loves. Yeah, nice little headbutt interrupting the Vault Breaker that was getting charged up. Obviously, Raptor going to try to get over the wall. But this game is already out of control. 5 minutes in, BFX have kind of just fallen apart, and On is just going to force the issue. He goes for it, he gets a flash early off of Kellen. Shun is there with a nice flash follow. Yeah, he's going to take a ton of damage, but look who is being ignored. It is Knight, and Vikla is out of mana. Vikla obviously very far behind because of how early this lane got out of control. And there's no flash on Raptor. His only way out would have been Vault Breaker over the wall. On says no to that, so you get a couple more kills here on the side of BLG. You have 3 winning lanes at this point, and the solo lanes are very, very far ahead. 600 gold lead plus in the top lane. Oh, hit 1,000 there. Knight's gonna kill him again.
That's a solo kill under an inner turret there, Zale. Let's see where the Knight can get. No, he's not going to be able to get out. So at least it's a 1-for-1. As BNK FEARX, I mean, they were on the board with that kill under Shun. Now a couple to their name, but I think that BLG is feeling pretty good about the state of this game right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Knight hadn't even bought. Look at his inventory. He was just on the tier and the Doran's ring.
Oh, God.
He just spent 2,000 gold after solo killing him again.
Oh, well, Vikla definitely didn't spend 2,000 gold so far this game. He has a lost chapter, and that is about it.
He's economical. He doesn't need all that extra gold.
Yeah, I don't know quite whether that's going to help him win, though, Zale. That's the only issue that I have.
He's very thrifty.
Yeah, I do appreciate being a little bit thrifty, but I just don't think that it's a great idea when you need to buy as many items as you possibly can to win the game. As now Vikla is, yeah, just never able to walk up to Knight ever again.
Yeah, how about that 8-minute Roa that's going to be incoming for Knight? Do you think that's going to help him win the game?
Well, you know, the best thing is his Roa is going to be finished so early, he's not going to be getting as much value from the level up.
Oh, true.
There you go.
There you go.
That's the silver lining that I've got for you, Azale. That's the end of it. Don't ask me for more. And now Knight just clears out the wave, and every time he leaves, things get very, very scary here for BNK FEARX. As Shun up here towards his top side, Clear will be able to see him on this ward, and immediately knows that he has to get the heck out of there. The Realm Warp will undoubtedly be following.
They want Shun.
Yeah. Kellen is making his way up, is joining the minion wave here. Home Guard's kind of wrecking him, which is a little bit hilarious. Wants to be able to walk the same speed as the minions.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to try to collapse because, I mean, Vikla actually spent a long time walking up there, and Kellen was on that side of the map, so I thought they might try to look for a play onto Shun, but at the end of the day, they don't think that there is an angle there. And Bin doesn't greed for anything, just pushes in the wave, stays backed off. He knows that he's in absolute comfort right now. He's going to get early steel caps. He has a cull.
Oh, public execution here towards his top side, but I think Cleo was using it mainly defensively as he flashes out of the way of Bin's leap strike. And in the meantime, Kellen is once again in a little bit of a rough spot, but he's able to keep himself alive for now. On didn't have quite as much damage in those hooves.
Yeah, so Viper playing pretty respectfully, has fallen a little bit behind as far as the CS is concerned, but doesn't want to.
There's the flash from Bin, had that advantage. As now, let's see whether Clear can get himself out of the way. The answer is probably not. As there's the bonk, and Bin picks it up with an empower.
Nicely done. Bing going to be able to grab a solo on top side. That is both of the solo laners here for BLG. Getting solo kills in game 1 of First Stand. BLG is looking really, really strong.
Yeah, this is looking like a little bit of a wake-up call here for BNK as Knight once again clears out another minion wave and once again looks to threaten on elsewhere on the map. Does get spotted out by this ward at the moment, but it looks like Shun is just going to be taking himself a dragon.
Yep, and to talk a little bit about Knight, this guy has been racking up championships. Bin, though, is maybe going to be in some trouble, but he's going to fight in the wave. This is not an easy fight here.
There's the flash off the Vault Breaker here from Raptor. He does have cease and desist, so Bin is likely just going to die here. Does have the counter-strike, but it's a good Vault Breaker to come on through. There's the cease and desist. Finally, they managed to take him down, and you could see just how dangerous that was.
Yeah, really. I mean, Raptor obviously didn't want to use the ult, but they're going to run more bot.
Yeah, in the meantime, there's a Pulverize onto Diablo. Great killer instinct to get himself out of the way as Pop Blossom keeps them all busy, but they just decide they'll kill Kellen. Down will go the Cal, though, so a 1-for-1, not exactly what BNK were looking for.
Yep.
Sorry, PLG were looking for.
At least they do get one back there, but yeah, it is not even a kill onto Diablo, so they just trade supports at the end of the day. They are going to lose probably at least one plate mid, so there is a bit of a cost to that play, and it is, despite how one-sided this game has felt, it's only a 600 gold lead for BLG, so not that bad for BFX. They are able to stay involved. They are able to keep it a lot closer than I thought it was going to be after how this game started. Over into the pit, Knight just starts it up with the Realm Warp. The arrow there, not actually able to connect from Viper, and he wasn't able to get the Chains of Corruptions down on anyone either. He was shooting for Diablo, but it felt like there was a bit of miscommunication because On was looking to combo Kellen.
In the meantime, though, we've got even more action. Is now On possibly in a little bit of trouble, but now Raptor finds himself among 3 people. The Cow even able to walk his way out as finally he will go down. Probably take that if you're BLG.
Yep, gonna be feeling good, and Knight just getting delaying till he wants to buy that. And it is going to be On out on the map, just using the Spellbook TP, looking to pressure up on top side, try to play for these grubs. He's been very active on the map. I honestly really am impressed with how he's playing this. Navigating this Nico matchup is not easy, and they are now going to try to look to set up a dive.
Well, let's see whether Clear can find the perfect ultimate here as he does throw it out, but it gets blocked, and down will go the Ambessa with no real issues there at all. On turns up and grabs himself the kill.
Yeah, I think you can't ask for much more there from Clear as far as the ultimate timing. And he both immuned the Counter-Strike as well as that combo coming in, so was able to immune a few little parts of CC, but there's just too much. No one was there to cover him. He doesn't have flash. There's not really much of a way to outplay. And Shun going to have to be pushed back here as we can see Kellen was up towards that top side helping him out.
Yep. Only one grub did go over to BLG as well. We'll see whether BNK are going to be able to collect themselves one at the same time. As Vikla trying to get the shove out here as we don't get the snare onto Shun, but the wall comes through, gets the flash, cease and desist though, delivers Raptor all the way in. That's a great shove, as there's the flash, Pop Blossom finding all 3 from Kellen, but Shun just gets out of there. The Cow grabs another one, and BNK just cannot find anything, despite the great setup.
Yeah, they just don't have any damage. That's a real problem, as Vikla wasn't able to actually get too much down onto Shun. On was blocking so much of that damage that was meant for Shun. Taliyah does not have good access through a target, right? All of your threaded volleys are just hitting the Cow here. He's blocking up all that damage. And this flash from Shun is really, really nice because it pulls Raptor into a position where Raptor is always going to get knocked under the tower. There's the reposition. There's Knight getting that root. Even though the 3-man Pop Blossom comes through, again, so much of the damage was getting blocked by On. They CC up Raptor under that tower, get even another kill, and are able to walk away with it. And now there's the Roa, there's the tier 2 boots for Knight, who is going to be scaling up incredibly quickly. And been up over 1K on the top side. I said it was about 600 gold, that they had been keeping it close. Now it's close to 3K, and we're going to have a call here cashing in pretty soon, I guess on both sides, so we can kind of ignore that.
I think there was a bit of an ebb and flow, and it's ebbed back towards BLG once again. As BNK, I mean, the thing is, they still have what we were talking about in draft, right? Which is a pretty straightforward composition that just kind of works. So we'll see whether they can get themselves together as we make our way through this mid-game, try and find some of these angles to get these team fights working. Kellen has been able to find some of these Pop Blossoms that have been working out, and if they can all work together, it could work real well.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to get that done. And really, it's just going to be this problem about how do you deal with the 1-3-1? You know, even if you have a team fight, BLG don't have to take any fights. They got the early dragon, so they don't need to really force their hand, right? They don't need to go for any sort of fight that doesn't feel like a good setup. It doesn't feel guaranteed. And now they have moved Viper over towards the mid lane. They have themselves set up in this 1-3-1. Bin is going to have Triforce on his next base, easy peasy. And it is going to become very problematic to answer both of these side lanes because they don't have anyone that can win either 1v1.
Yep. That was not exactly the most friendly Coinbase gold grind that we've seen for BNK, but Bin looking absolutely fantastic there towards the top side of the map, 1.2k ahead of his Ambassador opponent. Does finally have the Eclipse complete, and there isn't quite a Trinity Force just yet as he took a bit of a detour towards the Steel Caps. But we'll just have to see as Raptor now, once again, in a little bit of trouble as Knight is making his way over. Wherever Knight is, I imagine BNK do not want to be there because this guy is very, very scary, sitting at 3-1 and 4. As we've got them defending the Drake for now. Double Dragon, pretty important, as BLG will then have so much tempo control of this game.
Yeah, Vikla just trying to push in mid. They're trying to get control of that and then maybe move him down for a play because, of course, it would be hard for Viper to follow.
Yeah, in they go once again as Shun just decides he wants to get himself out of there. Diablo is a little bit scary, and so you could understand it. As Kellen towards his bottom side of the map. In goes Raptor once again, looking to clear out some vision, but down comes Viper as well. Chains of Corruption does come in. Vikla's turned up at the same time, but Raptor is already dead, and Bin now joins the fight. It's a good cleanse there from Diablo, and he tries to keep himself alive, but he is out of this one, not exactly healthy enough to help out, and that is just a dead jungler and an almost guaranteed dragon here for BLG.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the dragon. Bin trades the flash and the TP for the cleanse. They're going to go for a dive.
That is a big old Realm Warp as they get the Pop Blossom off onto one of them, but Shun is pretty happy to tank things up. That's a kill for Viper, one for Bin as well, as Clear is at least able to keep things interesting, but he'll be going down. It's a double for his opposite number, and an ace for BLG.
It's a 15-minute ace in a 5v5 under your own tower here. BLG are leaving no doubts in this game. Absolutely stomping FEARX here in game number 1 at first stand. 5k is the lead. They didn't even bother taking the dragon. They just looked for a reset. Raptor was just way too far. I mean, they knew that Viper had been moving down from bot lane. No one can even step up here from BFX to try to help him, so he's gone way too far. The fight is already kind of screwed, and then Bin goes in, pushes Diablo out. They know now that's really the only threat, so they decide to go with the Realm Warp here. On goes in, tanks it up. He knocks Vikla back beautifully into the waiting arms of Knight and Bin, and on the other side, Diablo with no cleanse, with no ult, has no way to outplay, and they're able to get everything here on the delayed ace.
That was absolutely beautifully played from On. He got out of the Pop Blossom whilst also killing Vikla at the same time. So Kellen just didn't quite find the value that he was looking for underneath that turret. That Pop Blossom could have been devastating, but not to be the case. And now we're sitting at almost a 6,000 gold lead. We're heading towards blowout territory here in game number 1, as Raptor will be able to steal away a dragon. So there is at least that. Yeah, not too bad. No double dragon that I was talking about.
Exactly.
Oh, really? Maybe that's what they're playing for.
The objective bounties are falling off now.
Oh, yeah.
That's a worrying sign. They definitely could use those.
I think as soon as we're talking about objective bounties, you're already worried. You know, the worrying sign hasn't begun. As we do have Shelly getting involved as well. She's going to get a headache, but it will be BLG taking down this outer turret in the mid lane, opening up the map completely. BNK, what are we going to be able to do to find something? Well, we're just going to start more fights. That's going to be the plan. As let's see whether Raptor's going to be able to make this one work. Double Pop Blossom to come through from Kellen as he gets amongst it. But they're a little bit out of sync, and down will go the Nico. BLG just kind of weathering it.
Look at bot. No one is answering Bin. They moved everyone there because BFX realized this game is already cooked. You can't just sit and look for regular plays and play side lanes. You're going to bleed out. So they send everyone to try to really hard force this play, but BLG are able to absorb it pretty easily. It does cause some flashes on Knight and Viper, so there is that. But this is Bin getting further and further ahead. That is Bin Jax 3k up at 18 minutes, which is definitely not a good thing if you're hoping for a close game.
Yep, I think if you're an LCK fan, you're probably putting that one in the cons column, as Clear will let him go home, and I think that is a very good idea.
The pros column, he hasn't done it to Keen.
Yeah, there we go. Keen also hasn't played yet, so...
Exactly. Keen's not behind any gold. Clear is, unfortunately.
Very neutral. Well, actually, no, Keen's technically on 0 gold right now.
Yeah, but he's not behind any gold.
Ah, wait. Yeah. No, true. Okay, there we are. So if you're an LCK fan, maybe just, yeah, don't worry about game one. It's not about game one.
Exactly.
You know?
It's a best of 5.
Yeah.
It's a new world. They're just getting adjusted.
If they do this 3 times in a row, you know,
then maybe
we'll talk.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, we won't talk. We'll cry.
We don't want a 3-0.
We want
that is the main thing.
close series.
Well, this is not going to be a close game. That is what we're looking at the moment. Unless BNK can make a miracle happen. And they have been a lot more tenacious this year than what we've seen of them in the past. We have to remember, they weren't at first stand last year because they were the very first team eliminated from the LCK Cup. And now they qualified second to actually make it here. Of course, last year there was only 1 seed, but this time they're our second best team coming out of the tournament. And that is a big turnaround.
It is a really big turnaround. I mean, their run has been very impressive. I think, you know, even that upset over T1, people are like, wow, that was crazy. But that's probably the end, though, right? That's all you're going to get. And they just kept going. They have gotten better and better and better. And it is so interesting to see new representation here. This is the first time we've seen a new mid laner from the LCK in forever, as Knight maybe going to get dove here.
Yeah, there's a cease and desist. Pop Blossom comes on down there as he is delivered into the open arms of Diablo. And Raptor manages to tank up the turret successfully. Kellen probably didn't want to take that last shot, but now the rest of BLG are closing in. They do have a man disadvantage, though. And Bin has teleported forward. Clear turns up as well. All 5 of BNK are in the mix, but On keep himself available with that ultimate. There's the public execution, and Shun it's going to take down Raptor. They look to try and get one back as now Shun, is he going to be able to survive? Oh my god, he is. As now Vikla dealing with Bin as best he can by dying. That's kind of the only option you really have here is now Shun chasing down Kellen, and he's dead as well. Yes, you managed to kill Knight, but you didn't get anything else. This should be Baron for BLG.
Yeah, BFX were up a man, but down a Bin, and he's worth a lot more than 1 at this point. This guy TP's in with the role quest completed, with the massive shield to start off that fight, and he is just soloing 3 members in the backline. It's a fight that is dominated. It is a 20-minute Baron, and it is 21 kills for BLG before 21 minutes into the game. So let's watch this one more time. Obviously, Raptor is very low. It's going to be a tough fight. You've spent some big cooldowns on the early side, but look at Bin. Gets in on Diablo, forces out the cleanse, multi-man ult, focuses down Raptor, and then he gets flicked back. He's like, great, I wanted to get closer to you. Q's forward, hits stun on both the carries, knocks down Diablo, takes out Vikla on the other side. Clear can do nothing as he is knocked down by Viper. BLG playing beautifully with a massive gold lead that they are working with here.
Yeah, you can see Clear is not super psyched about what's been going on in this game. I think a mental reset will be required after this one as BLG. It's a bit of a victory lap that we're looking at here at the 21-minute mark as BNK desperately trying to hold on to whatever structures they still can.
Yeah, they're going to try to hold on and keep fighting it out. I mean, that's all you really can do at this point. But of course, that gets very, very difficult when you're looking at 2 incredibly fed solo laners who both just bought a Seekers after that fight, right?
Oh,
so
God.
now they have the playmaking tools here as well because they are so rich, so accelerated that if you're looking for Knight or Bin, they both have that stasis here at pre-22 minutes. There's a locket completed. Viper's on 3 full items. So everyone is very, very strong at this point, and Shun is working towards his GA. So it is going to be tough. I mean, BFX are going to need a massive engage plus a series of incredible mistakes from BLG to really have a chance in this one. We knew this was a possibility coming in. BFX obviously have a lot of players who don't have that international experience, you know, maybe, you know, haven't had as much experience traveling and playing at these big events, and they are going up against a team that both has a ton of experience and is one of the very best teams in the world for that first series. So game 1, we will give them a bit of a pass here, and we're hoping that they can kind of work into it as this series goes.
I would agree. And hopefully they are taking some notes, to quote a previous MSI. That's all right. BLG now in position. They haven't really broken open the base just yet. That is the one bit of good news. But the Rebel Baron power play is sitting at about 1,700. We're going to put that in the cons column. So Raptor is looking for a wraparound, though.
He is. I wanted to go back to this mid lane thing, but we have had 5 mid laners dominating the LCK for so long. Faker, Chovy, Showmaker, BDD, and Zeka. Those are the only mid laners that we've seen since 2019 until Vikla qualified here, which is very, very cool. Obviously a tough game 1, but still, it's nice to see a new team, a new mid laner, new face kind of popping up here in the LCK and showing that they can actually mix it up with those legends who have been dominating that league for so long.
Yeah. Raptor just died. He was going for a little bit of a behind enemy lines type tactic. As it turns out, they had pretty good vision behind their enemy lines. So he's just going to go down, and obviously looking for a Hail Mary. That sort of thing is what you're going to have to go towards. As 10,000 gold the lead. I mean, they're going to need a miracle if they want to survive this one. BLG owns every part of the jungle, be it on BNK's side or on BLG's side. As On is going to get interrupted here momentarily, but I don't think he's too worried.
That's a win.
I mean, there's something. Seismic Shove does pull the cow back, does have Unbreakable Will, but does have to use it. So that's something.
His will is now breakable.
Yeah. Well, not yet. Now it's breakable.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's been a tough game for Raptor. I think, honestly, he played the early levels completely fine, but the game felt pretty tough to play very, very quickly. Vikla got really outplayed by Knight. Diablo lost Flash early bot lane. Top lane gets killed by an early gank. Tough for a jungler when both your soul laners are getting solo killed very early on in the game. And Clear's going to try to TP out.
Yep, and he is going to be able to make it out. So there he is, able to grab himself a turret as well as getting himself away. And that is going to mean the gold lead is now smaller than it was a minute ago. That we take those, you know?
And
looking
they
for
might
positives.
steal a Gromp.
My goodness, surely not. Well, there it is. Okay, Diablo looking to try and do the same thing. There are still plates here towards this bottom side. And bounties on the map. I mean, there is money to be made here for BNK if they can get towards these structures. As, oh dear, Kellen is going to be very, very dead. As that is going to be Viper with a last auto attack. And that will be able to take down the Nico. Not very lucky, not able to escape. And so now, without that Pop Blossom available for the next 24 seconds, but obviously not very high level. So I look down, I'm like, it's quite late in the game, 25 minutes. But no, he's going to pop back up pretty immediately.
Yeah, death timer being 20 seconds is both very good and concerning at this point of the game.
Don't look at the little number next to the portrait.
Yeah, he is down a couple levels on the Alistar, and he is down 7 levels on the mid laner and 8 levels on the top laner.
I mean, the top laner makes sense, right? That's part of the quest.
They're cheating.
Yeah, absolutely cheating. And Knight's
and the
cheating
mid laner has a Roa. That's cheating too.
Yeah, so that's too much cheating. It's not your fault, Kellen. It's
Despicable.
absolutely fine. The fact that you're 2 levels behind the Alistar, though, that we don't have very many excuses for that one, outside of the fact that...
that one's on you, buddy. We tried our best.
And they're also having a really tough game at this point in time, as Diablo desperately trying to get to a minion wave to farm. And does manage to at least get rid of that one. Has his 3 items complete. So, I mean, in theory, this Kai'Sa can be scary. But in the context of this game, probably not.
Well, and the big problem is, even though he is pretty relevant, no one else on his team is. So there's so many tools that BLG have, and they can just throw everything at Diablo, because as long as Diablo isn't hitting, you have no damage.
Well, Bin is going to look for clear here, as he does have the ultimate available. Changes position as they take down Viper. This could actually be a good start to this fight, as now Knight has been separated as well. It is Diablo going for something a little more aggressive than he probably should, and now the Realm Warp is going to deliver Bin to Vikla, but it's a great seismic shove to keep him alive. The Baron just spawning, though, as they lose their bottom lane, and BLG should be able to grab a second purple worm.
Nice attempt there for BFX. They are able to one-shot Viper, but then this is what I'm talking about. They're just going to spend all your resources on you. Right after that, after the Killer Instinct, On just flashes on his head, and then that goes straight into a Counter-Strike. You are CC'd 100-0, burst down. Not much Diablo can do unless you can somehow react to the Q flash that's coming in from On, which is almost impossible. And as a result, he dies, and as soon as Diablo's down, there's no hope left in the fight for them.
Yeah, let's have a look at it again.
Yeah, the angle is good. You know, BLG are looking for a fight, and BFX say, hey, we can actually find something here. Raptor Q flash, they one-shot him, but then watch this. As Diablo, I think he cleansed nothing, but does get Q flash. Really nice setup there from On. Knocks him right into the waiting arms of Bin, into that Counter-Strike. And then they get that kill, and we know they are back getting the Baron here on live. So BLG taking another team fight win. Just not a lot that BFX can do from this far down, even with a good initial pick like Raptor found.
Yeah, and even though the Rebel Baron power play not exactly looking fantastic at this point in time, because I think some bounties were able to be taken, a couple of plates here or there for BNK, and so they have closed the gap actually just a little. But I think with these 2 minutes that they have still for this Baron, you should be able to take down some of these structures. Look at that crystalline overgrowth, man. Oh my goodness. There it is. Boom. And more plate money over to BLG, and they'll be able to start creating a bit of an advantage from this buff. As Diablo off to the side, we're going to try and take down some of these. We do have a bit of a collapse onto Shun. Vaultbreaker comes down. There is the Weaver's Wall as well to block off the reinforcements, and the GA was popped. Down goes Shun. There is at least another one, but the counter-strike onto 2 from Bin. He makes his way into the back line, and pop goes Diablo. Man, he presses W, and people die. That is just what it looks like here as Knight teleports his way in. There is a reposition from Clear to try and keep them busy, but he is now just going to try and go for a bit of an escape here, and I don't know whether it's quite going to work, because now Bin just needs a couple more cooldowns, and Clear will just be dead. Yeah,
that is a level 18 Jax. That Leap Strike is a short cooldown, buddy.
At least he's level 18 and not level 20, because that would be worse. As all right, BLG going to break open the base here, and I think this might be the end of the game. 11,000 gold the lead, and just a couple of Nexus turrets to get BLG towards a 1-0 start in this best of 5. Pop Blossom only onto 1. That is not exactly what you want, as now Raptor just desperately trying to deal with the minions, but there are 2 cannons taking down these Nexus turrets, and down will go the Nexus here in game number 1. Utter dominance from BLG, as they will go 1-up.